Hello and welcome to Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy, Wisconsin. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow for the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. If you're joining us here on Spectrum Sports, the last time you saw us out of here was the Girls Championship.
Yeah, and that Girls Championship was exciting down in the 10th frame. Something tells me with the quality of competition we have out here today, Van, it's going to be the same thing. And it's the same format. 4 bowlers in that first match, take the top 2 scores out of that match, get them into the championship game, and let them battle it out for that Top Gun Championship title.
It's been a great day of bowling here at Motion Plus Lanes, and the top 4 bowlers for the championship spot, you know it's only going to get better.
And we're going to bring that action to you right after a short commercial break. Let's get going, Van. I can't wait.
Let's go. We'll be right back.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Motion Plus Lanes and everyone here, we would like to thank our men and women of our armed forces for keeping us safe. Thanks for all you do for our country. We can't do this without you. We salute you. Enjoy the show. All right, here we go.
All right, welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. A salute to the troops from owner Kerry Catania.
Oh, I tell you what, they do so much to support the troops here. They do a big fundraiser every December with the Marine Corps Reserves Toys for Tots. Lots with the military involved here at Motion Plus Lanes. We have Ian Boho from Marquette University High School starting us off.
Not wasting any time here with the action. That's what I like here, Phil. A nice fast pace and way to open it up there with the strike for Ian.
Yeah, bowling on the Motion Plus Lanes modified version of the house shot. It's about 42 feet in length. We've seen it a lot in our tournaments here at Motion Plus Lanes over the years. Bowlers of this caliber, they're going to find a way to get to the pocket, Van. It's just a matter of getting the corner pins out. And we saw a lot of strikes from these young men early. All 4 of these young men averaging over 225 to make the TV show in their 6 qualifying games today.
Ben Schroeder opens up in the first frame out of Muskego with a nice strike there, a light hit.
Yes, indeed. And that unique style of Schroeder, he gets that elbow bent as he's delivering down through the ball. Helps him stay underneath the ball at release. He gets that strong rolling revolutions on the ball. And wasting no time here, Austin Est out of Sun Prairie. Couple of Sun Prairie players on the show here today.
I was going to say, Phil, what is in the water out there in Sun Prairie? Ooh, trip 10. Nice strike for Austin.
Yeah, Austin Est, he was 3rd in District 4 out in the Madison area for fill percentage for the high school teams this year. Sun Prairie bowlers taking the top 3 spots, and you can see why, even though it was a tough loss to Oak Creek in the high school boys state championship, why they were able to get up into 2nd place at boys state.
The man who finished 4th in state, Andrew Olson. Uh-oh, somebody owes.
Somebody's got to buy a round of sodas here at Motion Plus Lanes, and unfortunately it's going to be the two-handed stylings of Andrew Olson. Just a bad break in the light hit. His ball speed's so fast that the head pin goes around the 4 pin into the 7. Usually you see a lot of these players slower ball speeds.
Yeah.
Head pin comes back off and takes that 4 pin out.
And a rev rate like the one that he has, usually those light strikes, you see the rack still explode. But, you know, pick up your spares, and he does.
Well, Andrew Olson, too, I mean, it's a lot of things that people, they look at two-handers and think, oh, it's just all power, all power, all power. That's not the case for Andrew Olson. He led District 4 in fill percentage this year. Only 5% of his frames were open frames. So that goes to show that when he is leaving things on the lane, he's very good at picking them up.
Back to Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School. Got away from him a little bit, but announcing on Twitter that he's signed to St. Ambrose University, not only to do baseball and bowling, but of course the academics as well.
And his brother Brent, who won this tournament a couple of years ago, Brent, a sophomore at St. Ambrose, so he'll be joining his brother in the athletics program out there, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of Brent and Ian this summer once we get our Road to Gold youth program going, and we'll give you more information about that as this show goes on.
Brent out there at Team USA, of course. Okay.
And a great cover there by Ian, and that's the key all day. You don't average 225 for a little 6-game stretch like they had here in qualifying, unless you're making your spares.
Excuse me, did you say 225?
225 all these players average. Actually, Andrew Olson averaged almost 235 in his qualifying.
All right, men, women, adult bowlers. The kids are coming. Here they come. And with strikes like that, you cannot deny them.
Well, and these players talking to them before the match, they all realize that, hey, it might take 235, 240 to advance out of the top 2 in this elimination game in the semifinal to get to the championship match, and these players, nothing but strikes and 9 counts so far to prove that.
Nice release into the pocket.
The long slide by Austin S. You don't see that with a lot of power players nowadays, with the long 18-inch, 22, 24-inch slide. You see a lot of plant and pull through. Austin gets that leverage going real well on the slide, and he gets all 10 pins to go back. Great shot from lane level.
The Sun Prairie representation continues here in the two-hander. That is Andrew Olson. There he gets the trip 10. And we'll have more. It's the 2017 Boys Championship. We're here at Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow, where the action is fast-paced. I like this kind of style, Phil.
Well, the Pro Tour went to it, PBA Tour went to it for their annual patterns this year, and it looked great on TV. We decided to adopt the same format here for the Top Gun, and I know in a couple of weeks we'll see in our Sean Yonan Championships, they're going to adopt that same format as well. So adds to the excitement, gives everybody in the top 4 a chance to come home with the championship, and you really just have to battle all day, as we're seeing Ian Boho try to battle back right now.
Dare I say we will see some of these kids on the Pro Tour in the near future?
You never know. I mean, we've had a couple of young players come out of our shows in the past, one of those most notably being A.J. Johnson. A.J.'s still looking for his first PBA Tour victory. He has a couple of regional victories under his belt. But something tells me we'll see A.J. Johnson in the PBA Tour winner's circle as well soon.
Ben Schroeder out of Muskego High School bowls over at Alpine Lanes with a light mixer strike there.
And once again, Ben Schroeder finished 4th in District 1, the Milwaukee and Waukesha County areas in high school bowling and fill percentage. Only 8% of his frames left open the entire season. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty
players.
good. Austin Est here. Sun Prairie developing some good bowlers. You got the one-handed here in Austin. A nice pocket strike for him. And then check out Andrew Olson, also out of Sun Prairie. The new fierce two-handed style.
Yeah.
Would you really say it's new? It's been 5 or 6 years now of the two-handers.
Well, it's been really dominant since Belmonte came over from Australia. I mean, that's the way Jason's always bowled since he was 18 months old.
Look at that.
But these young players, and if you're finding out that you have to have a certain body build for it. Andrew Olson, long, lean, able to get down at the line, really get through it. And these kids that keep themselves in tip-top physical shape. We're even seeing young players like Anthony Simonson, USBC former Masters champion, who's had a great time on tour, and he's only 20 years old. I think these two-handed players are not going to wear out like a lot of people think that they're going to with the extra wear and tear on the body turn. It's just a modification of today's traditional power game.
It's amazing to see where the game has come, where people have this preconceived notion about bowling, and it's guys having a good time and hanging out and drinking sodas and whatnot. It's so much more than that, and these kids are 100% serious about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're going to beat each other's brains out here on the lanes. You can see, teammates Austin S. and Andrew Olson, the last thing they want to do is lose to their teammate right now. They might be a teammate during the high school bowling season, but right now at this Top Gun competition, it's every man for himself.
Ian able to convert the spare.
Our friend Joe Serrar, BPSMilwaukee.com, he's got some great spring specials coming up, so make sure you check out his website. We'll get Joey back on the call again soon. Always good to have you here in the booth as well, though, Van.
Thank
I always
you
like
very
when you
much.
get the rare 3-person booth. Hopefully we'll get that for one of these tournaments
Yeah,
pretty soon.
when the tournament dictates, that's fine. Ben Schroeder out of Muskego. Ooh, the wrap 10.
Yeah, not the place you wanted to see that right now. Trying to hold on in one of those top 2 spots. Solid ball, just got into its roll a little bit late. Watch when it gets to the pocket here in the replay. You see the deflection. And the 6-pin just goes around the 10. If he was another half-inch tighter in the pocket, he would have carried that 10-pin out, no problem.
So it is a minor adjustment that can take away that 10 pin.
Well, it's also the strength of your roll. If you don't get out of the ball the same way every time, if you change how your ball's rolling into the pocket as he tickles the 10-pin down, if your release is off a little bit, it's going to magnify how hard the ball rolls or how soft the ball rolls on the back end. And a lot of times with the 10-pin, they just don't get out of the ball as cleanly, or they get out a little too clean, and next thing you know, not a strong roll, weak 10 pins, the pin that's left on the pin deck.
Over to Sun Prairie now. And Austin Est working it. Needed a little push there and got a break. That's a makeable split.
Yeah, at least he got the 6-pin out, but 410, never easy, a bowler Austin's caliber. This is about a 20-to-1 shot for him, and he just simply missed left on this shot. And when you square up as much as he is at this point in time, he missed a little left. It just jumps barely through the nose, and unfortunately for him, leaves the 410. Smart thing to do right now, though, is get the count. He's in good position right now. You don't want to have to get to the point at the end of a game where all of a sudden you're going, oh, I could have just needed 9 spare strike to advance.
Right,
Instead
could've.
I need a double.
Don't play that game. Don't play the blame game with yourself.
No,
that gets you nowhere.
And right now you can see Schroeder Olsen in advancing positions right now through the 4th frame.
So we'll take the top 2 bowlers here. They'll face off next. Oh, I thought he was going to trip that 10 there.
Yeah, it's amazing the ball speed that these two-handers can gain.
It's almost a blessing and a curse. Sometimes it's too much, and you leave those 10s, or you leave a stone 8 or a stone 9. Just too much on it.
Well, and you see right there with Olsen, deflection. That ball deflected even more than Schroeder's 10-pin on that lane, because the ball speed and the ball is not in a strong roll, so you get extra deflection off the pin and no chance to carry a 10. He almost got the messenger out, but as we talked about before, he has a superb spare game. Only 5% of open frames in his high school competition this year. He's not going to miss those single pins and get himself out of contention.
And a true 2-hander all the way through, not only in his first ball with the high revs, but also in the spare ball too. You see some guys that go back and forth 2-handed in their first shot and then 1-handed with the spare.
Yeah.
That's not the case with him. Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School. A little bit of a stroker and a nice strike.
Yeah, and he's got the game where his hand and his wrist is so relaxed at the release. If he wanted to pick up more revolutions, he could find a way to do it. He just doesn't need it on this condition.
And it looked like he didn't like it coming off of his hand or something, but a strike is a strike.
You know, it's funny you mentioned 2-handers. His brother Brent, we've seen for many years, one of the first 2-handers we saw on our telecast here on Spectrum Sports. And now we've seen probably 5 or 6 young men that are throwing it 2-handed and throwing it well.
The 2-handed revolution is here and will only continue to grow.
Schroeder not happy with the release again. You can see he kind of got around the side of that ball early.
Yeah, we'll see in the replay. It looks like he hit a little light, or a late entry at least.
Yeah, watch that lane level replay.
Yeah,
you
just
see the
fell
deflection.
flat. Yep.
So Schroeder, he'll simply switch to that polyester ball.
This is a polyester ball, right? Not a house ball?
Correct.
Okay, looks like a house ball.
Well, there's so many designs that people can get on these bowling balls nowadays, and our friends at High Five Gear have actually done not just jerseys and other equipment in the past, but they've also done some bowling balls in the past as well, where they've made custom logos on the bowling balls. And got a straggler coming out with the 10-pin here. So let's see what we got here. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Kerry Catania, waving.
Loving
Kerry,
it.
we're on camera.
I think some of that may contribute to his balance. Oh,
Yeah.
the back end there is fine, right?
Yep, back end's clean. There's no oil on the back end. You can see, we usually see Kerry out there in the all black, but supporting the troops again today with that great jersey.
The red, white, and blue, absolutely patriotic.
And if you want jerseys like that, just give our friends at High Five Gear a look up on the internet. And once we get to the championship match, if one of these players strikes in the High Five Gear 5th frame, they'll walk out with a $25 high five gear gift certificate as well.
So jerseys, what else do they do there?
Jerseys, they do the arm sleeves. You see a lot of players wear to keep their arms warm. I know they've done yoga, they've done golf shirts, they've done yoga equipment as well.
And another Wisconsin company, so go Wisconsin.
Exactly.
And another strike there as we take a break here in the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. We're at Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. Don't go anywhere. The action continues next. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. The action continues for the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Pins continue to fly here. The action is fast-paced. This is how we do it, Phil.
Yeah, and nobody even close to being out of this yet. The biggest deficit right now, Ian Boho, 9 pins out of second place at this point in time. Top 2 scores in this game advance to our championship. And if he gets a double here, he's got to strike up in the 5th already. He gets himself back up in the top 2, so these bowlers know they need to throw a lot of strikes the last 5 frames to get a chance to take home this Top Gun championship.
Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School with a solid pocket strike. He liked that one. I know he didn't like his last shot, but
I'll tell you what, if you talk to any of these players, this might not be the high school state singles championship they had at Bolero a couple of weeks ago, but the prestigiousness behind this title, they really want to take this title home, and especially for a player like Ben, great way to cap off your senior year at Muskego High School.
bowls for the Warriors out there at Alpine Lanes.
And his team advancing. They had such a good finish this year. They're going to be going to the National High School State Championships in Nashville, Tennessee in June. Also, Sun Prairie will be going to that event as well again. That'll be the 2nd year in a row for Sun Prairie making that event. Of course, our high school state champions for the boys, Oak Creek High School, they're going to be going to that event as well.
Taking a look at Ben's shot, it looks like he slowed down just a little bit. I was going to say, we see it in a lot of youth bowlers that they get up there and they rush and they run up to the line and slow it down like Ben did. Even though he didn't get the result that he wanted, he didn't get the strike, he still picked up his spare, but take a beat, take a minute, take a breath, and then go.
Yeah, just don't overdo it. Sometimes you can just kind of psych yourself out by waiting too long or overthinking the situation. You see a lot of pros, if they don't feel right when they're walking up on the approach with their pre-shot routine, they'll set the ball down and completely start over.
It's a game of routines and getting into a pattern, and we seem to be falling out of it here in our last 2 bowlers, and some trouble for Austin S. out of Sun Prairie.
Here's the key, though, is that you've got players like Austin S. and Ben Schroeder playing in the same line where Andrew Olson is. Olson, that maximum amount of revs he has on the bowling ball, he's going to start peeling some oil away at the end of the pattern. Now we're starting to see bowlers creep high on lane 10. Really errant shot there for Austin. That's probably the worst spare attempt he's had in 2017.
Wait, are you telling me we're already starting to see transition in frame 5, frame 6 here?
Well, absolutely, and they used this pair of lanes in qualifying, so we set up the TV lights and the cameras while they were finishing their semifinals. There was no re-oil, so it's already had 4 games of bowling on, plus a little bit of practice for these players. So the oil is starting to wear away, and these bowlers need to make the adjustments. And that's part of the deal with Top Gun, is that you don't get fresh oil on every new round of competition. You got to deal with what's left out there and use whatever tricks you have, either in your bag or in your hand, to get the ball to get as many strikes as possible here.
Taking a look at Andrew Olson's replay, looked like it got away from him a little bit, but the rev rate on that ball still makes for an explosive rack and a nice strike for Andrew out of Sun Prairie.
Absolutely. And we see right now Ian Boho, he's working on a couple of strikes. He took that little bit of extra time, make sure he's got the focus where he wants to play, and comes in light, and that seems to be the hit to have right now on lane 9. Lane 10, we've seen some 7 pins pop up on those light hits, or that 4 pin in the case of Andrew Olson in frame 1. So it might be time to make a little bit of adjustment when Boho goes back over to lane 10 for his next shot.
Yeah, you can see just a little light there, started to skid a little bit. Ben Schroeder out of Muskego High School. Look, takes the breath and then goes.
And that's just the improvement in coaching a lot of these kids are getting. A lot of their high school coaches, they're not just using what they've learned from league or other people in the past. They're using what they're going to these USBC seminars and coaching seminars and other great coaches they're putting on one-day seminars that they can take back to their high school players and help them improve not just physically but mentally. And yeah, we're seeing lane 10 starting to kind of blow apart a little bit, and these players are really going to need to make that move on lane 10. And we usually see lane 10 here at Motion Plus Lanes hook normally a board or two more than lane 9 through all of our tournaments here. Now they just need to work on making those adjustments because the competition's still close. If you get a 2 or 3 bagger together, you might advance yourself to the championship match.
So we've got about 20 or 30 more throws on this lane before we get to the championship match. We'll take the top 2 bowlers out of these 4. It'll be interesting to see what we'll have as far as an oil pattern is concerned after this match. Austin Est out of Sun Prairie, and that transition getting to them as it skids away and misses the pocket.
Well, here it is. You make the over adjustment. You're on one lane, you go high, so then you think, okay, I have to do the same thing on lane 9. Well, the characteristics of the lane surface are a little bit different. And next thing you know, he kind of horses it through the break point, doesn't recover, and you have to say must spare here for any chance for Austin Est to advance.
Oh, thought he had it.
And his day pretty much done. If you finish your 3rd or 4th place right here in this match, though, if you get eliminated, you still get a $50 Visa gift card thanks to the containers here at Motion Plus Lanes, and a $25 gift certificate for High Five gear. So pretty good little bit of reward there for a $15 entry fee.
Absolutely. Plus, you've made TV. You can brag to your friends that I was on TV bowling. What a break there on the strike for Andrew. He doesn't like it, but again, a strike is a strike.
The advantage of speed and power that you get on shots that, the first frame, advantage was negated because the head pin went around so fast and didn't take anything out. That time, it barely hits the 4-pin in the back. 4-pin falls forward into the 2-pin. The high-speed, high-rev game, it's a blessing and a curse. Boho here working on the string.
I was enamored by the scoreboard and trying to work out things. We do have a little bit of a battle here.
Yeah, the only bowler really out of it right now, Austin Est. It's going to be down to Boho, Schroeder, and Olsen, these last 3, and that's interesting at this point in time. Sees his opponents go high, decides, okay, I'm going to get it a little farther right, let it come back, and he really didn't come out of that ball very clean. You watch that ball just lag all the way down, and you can see the little bit of stronger motion you saw previously. I'm going to blame that on a release error by Boho hitting his target, but now making the spare. Lots of ways you can miss this bucket and a handle.
And just like that, that's one of them to leave the 5-pin. And let's look at that scoreboard one more time as things change again.
And that puts Boho in 3rd place currently. He knows it. You see the disgust on his face while he's walking back. But his maximum is still 223. So if either Schroeder or Olsen make a big misstep here in the next couple of frames, Boho could still have a chance to advance to the championship match.
Schroeder out of Muskego, a little quicker in his approach and release this time. And again, starting to slide away from the pocket.
Once again, lane 9
the 210.
playing that little bit tighter. We saw it with Austin Est last time on that frame. You see Schroeder kind of thinking about it there, but he hasn't had a strike since the 3rd frame. Started with the first 3, and now spare here is huge. Otherwise, he falls back behind Boho into 3rd place. And Andrew Olsen can basically lock himself into the championship match with a strike in the 8th frame.
Just when you think things were going to fall one way, they start to change here as we end game 1 here. Top 4 bowlers.
Tell you what, if I'm Andrew Olsen, I'm looking at my chops because I have time to experiment. If I strike here in the 8th frame, I can try a little bit of a different frame on lane 9 or lane 10. The last 2 frames, just on the basis of I know I'm making it. The scores don't matter to advance. I just have to be in the top 2.
Now, when you're in a position like Austin Est, I was bowling with the youth bowler the other day, and they fell out of it in the 5th frame. And they're like, ugh, I'm done. I'm just going to focus on the next game. And I told the guy, no, you continue to focus all the way through. That's the mentality Austin has here as he finishes up his game. He's out.
He still has 211, so he just saw both of his opponents open. You never know what might happen those last 2 frames when we come back.
More from Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy when the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship continues. Next, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. If you're just joining us, our top 4 bowlers here competing for the top 2 spots in our championship match, which is next.
And right now, Ian Boho in one of those top 2 spots. Andrew Olson just punched his ticket with keeping his string going into the 8th frame before the commercial break.
Oh my goodness. Couldn't trip the 10 there. Ian Boho, a bad break.
Well, the good news for Boho is the spare here still stays ahead of Est. The bad part is that if Ben Schroeder steps up in the 9th frame and strikes, Schroeder will get himself into that number 2 spot. You've seen Boho, he's having a little problem with the changeable thumb
hole there.
So we'll see if that's going to affect his spare here at all. And lots of thumb hole and lots of left, and that's not even close. So he'll have to work on that if he leaves another 10 pin, because now, once again, second place goes back to Ben Schroeder, and Schroeder's got to be thinking to himself, boy, if I can just strike here, I've got a chance. Austin Est, we counted him out.
Right.
Yeah, we counted him out 2 frames ago. Est can strike out for 211 and still have a chance to advance.
See Ian in the background working on something with his thumb there. Like we said earlier, you think it's going to fall one way, you get a break, everything changes here. Schroeder out of Muskego needs the strike.
Almost the same thing he did in frame number 8. Got the ball to the right. It's not coming back strong, and he's lucky to take the 10 out on that shot. Watch the length on that ball.
Again, skidding past in the back end there.
Yeah,
this time tripping the 10.
And this is only a 42-foot pattern, so there's still 18 feet of drive for these players, and especially with the rev rates they have. You shouldn't have too much of a problem getting that ball to get across the lane here.
You would imagine they've been bowling on a 42-foot pattern. They've been bowling on this all day.
Yeah.
So the pattern is pretty chopped up.
Well, you can't say must strike here for Austin S, but it pretty much is. 211 his maximum. He's got 2 opponents in front of him. This is a necessity to have any chance in the 10th frame.
And again, I was telling my story about the youth bowler. Come on, trip that 10 pin. And saying that he was looking forward to the next game because he was in the 5th frame and he had already thrown 3 misses. And you always focus and you always play. And like Austin here, fight until the end. You want to throw your best shots out there, even if you're down at one point in the game. You never know what's going to happen. And pick up your spares.
And you can tell right there, he's just not happy with his release on the first ball. Came off his hand a little quick. Kind of heard the little extra thump going into the lane, and just didn't have the strong roll through the pocket that he needed to carry that 10 out. Now it's basically a 2-player match game in the 10th frame, but Ian Boho is going to have to step up and basically strike out, put pressure on Schroeder.
Look at this monster ball right here. Oh, thought that was going to be a Mountie type trip 10.
Sandman does not put the 10 pin to bed. Staying up late watching cartoons. But yeah, watch that head pin come back across.
Just dancing right across.
Yeah, misses by 2 or 3 inches. It's not that often you see the head pin miss on the messenger behind the 10 pin. A lot of times when you see it miss in front of the 10 pin.
The rev rate, the blessing, and the curse of the 2-handed hole.
No problem covering up that spare though. And Olson for sure in our championship match. Champion today, taking home a $100 Visa gift card thanks to Catania's here at Motion Plus Lanes, along with a custom High Five gear jersey and a championship medal. So it's a pretty good haul for the young players today.
It's been a pretty amazing day of bowling here.
Well, we had 40 of the best bowlers in southern Wisconsin for high school players down here. And the competition was fast and furious, and now down to this top 4, and Boho needs to strike out to put pressure on Schroeder, and he gets the first one to go.
Light pocket strike, but that's what's playing out right now on this oil pattern.
Well, a double in the 10th forces Schroeder to at least get the first one in the 10th. Count here is important as well because Boho can max out at 202. That would force Schroeder to double in the 10th because Schroeder, if he goes strike spare, 201. So this is a big shot here for Boho.
Marquette University High School, that's a nice solid pocket strike.
Yeah, we saw his ball wiggle in the 8th frame, didn't come up through the pocket, and he decided to fix that with a little bit of a speed adjustment and getting a little farther right, so he must have thought there was some transition there from the other players playing a little deeper than him in the back part of the lane, and it's just the way to get around it. You got to kind of slow it up, take advantage of the dry when you get it, and not get too slow because you know it's going to jump through the face. Count here huge.
Let's see if he holds. Same line right there. Nice. Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School. And a nice finish for him, 202.
And that's going to force Ben Schroeder to double to advance. Austin S. now officially eliminated from this event. Let's see what Schroeder can do here. He's had problems with going light the last few shots.
This is where you take your time. He knows the score. He knows the situation. Do what you do. And repeatability.
And he leaks it right again.
Again, another 2-pin.
And I think if he would just combat it like Boho did with a little less speed, could have got that ball to read up a little bit earlier and take the 2-pin out.
That's part of the fun here, though, in trying to decipher the lane and the oil pattern and finding those spots that other players aren't playing, making your own lines.
So that's going to relegate Schroeder to a third-place finish. $50 Visa gift card thanks to Motion Plus Lanes, and a $25 High Five Gear gift certificate to get himself another nice custom jersey. Can't wear that Muskego High School one forever there, man. You're a senior. I think they may take it back after this tournament now that your high school career is officially complete.
We'll take it and hang it up there over at Alpine Lanes for sure. There you go. Nice strike for Ben.
You always want to finish off good on TV.
200.
A couple good summer leagues going on here at Motion Plus Lanes. Go check out their website, motionpluslanes.com, for all that info. If you like bowling on some of the conditions we see these young players on during our Road to Gold series, something like the PBA Tour does, they got a great league here on Wednesday nights for that during the spring. And on Thursday nights, we got a Summer Fun League, and everybody in that league gets Summerfest tickets as well.
Hey, that's not a bad deal at all. And moms and dads, when was the last time you were bowling with your kids?
Exactly.
Take them bowling.
Yeah, and both those leagues, they have it because it's a senior singles league on Wednesdays. That any prize money that the youth player would win would just be converted into a scholarship fund for him, so, or her. So that works out well too. And we're going to let these players finish out, Van, as it's no longer in doubt. We're going to see Andrew Olson and Ian Boho in our championship match.
That is next here as the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship continues. We're at Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. We'll be right back.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylo. Phil, where does that man get the energy? That is Motion Plus Lanes owner, Kerry Catania. Just a bundle of energy, absolutely. Thank you, Kerry.
Yeah, absolutely. All the great events he hosts for us here, and him and his wife Jean always full of energy, and they get it from their customers here. It's such a fun place to hang out, and you know, there's 3-4 centers we hit on a regular basis here with our TV shows on Spectrum Sports, and here Gina Daraszewski, all the atmosphere she has at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Of course, Phil and Patty Anko at Castle Lanes and Racine. Right. I mean, that's just an amazing energy that comes out of that place as well, and it's not just the owners, it reflects on their customers as well.
Yeah, the customers and the communities in which each bowling center serves. We have a great network of establishments here at Spectrum Sports. And as we open up the action, we see Andrew Olson, the two-hander out of Sun Prairie, with a nice strike. Little different story as Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School missed the pocket entirely. Let's check out the replay. Came up high on the pocket.
Well, a little slow. We saw him try to combat in the semifinal match this right lane hooking by getting it a little farther out to the right, letting it roll up. That one, he just let it roll up a little too much. Was a little slow with it, and that's a little iffy on the spare.
Picked it up, converted it nonetheless, but Made it exciting for everybody.
Well, if you saw on the way back there, Van, he was checking out his thumb. We saw him have issues with it in the semifinal match. He was having a problem with that thumb insert when he was shooting a 10-pin. Almost cost himself advancing to the semifinals with a missed 10-pin in the 9th frame. We'll see if that thumb affects him at all during this championship match.
It's hard to recover from things like that in an effort to be repeatable, but right back on the horse for Ian, not wasting any time. Maybe it's a tale of two lanes at this point.
It is. You can see the difference, how much deeper and straighter the whole line is on that left lane as it's playing tighter. The right lane, you just see the amount of hook that Ian's using. It's kind of necessity to fight the friction. Even Andrew here, we're seeing he needs to project it farther to the right. He's burned out his own line there, and I don't think moving left's going to be the key for him on that.
I was going to say, look at him run up to the line. He's not wasting any time in trying to backswing. To generate enough speed to get down. It's not enough right
Well,
now.
that's the thing with two-handers is that because of the limited height of the backswing, they have to generate ball speed from the legs. If you look at players like Jason Belmonte and you look at other players that are two-handed on the tour as well, the backswing never gets past the middle of the rib cage, basically.
Right.
And they have to gain their speed from the legs and from the core.
So it's a little bit of a run on the approach and maybe a skip as well.
That's why you see the skip step for a lot of these two-handed players.
There, he's got it down on 9. 10 is causing a bit of a problem for Andrew, but convert your spares.
And for Ian as well. I mean, Ian needs to find a way to keep it from going high as well. And Andrew can fight it, in a couple different ways with the revolutions. He can trust it out to the right a little bit more with his ball speed. Ian, if he trusts it to the right, he has to keep that ball speed perfect. He has to keep it very firm, but you can't get it through the break point and all of a sudden start leaving 2 pins or 2 10s, and that's just left in his hand.
Yeah, a bad release. A tale of two bowlers, a tale of two lanes. We've got all kinds of excitement here on Spectrum Sports, the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. It just gets away from him.
Let's see if he goes to his polyester ball, because I know he had a problem with that release. And, he looks like he's going to it, so you saw him shaking his thumb there for a little bit. Let's see if he can get out of this one clean to get them all. Yeah, very clean. Hooks it in a little bit. Perfect conversion.
No worries. Made that adjustment. Seems to be doing well now.
Well, both bowlers, the troublesome lane is lane 10, and unfortunately for Andrew Olson, he had a lane choice, so he decided he wanted to start on lane 9. If it gets to where it's close in the 10th frame, Olson's going to have to perform on lane 10 in the 10th frame to lock up a championship. So we'll see if that decision on lane choice by Olson bites him in the end.
Boho, out of Marquette University High School, will be going to St. Ambrose here next year to continue with bowling and baseball. And tale of two lanes, Phil.
Oh, a little bit on the release, too. He's checking his thumb again. He came out of that one quick, and, of course, if you come out of it quick, don't have the revolutions you want on the ball, and you're on a tight lane as it is, it's not going to even come close up to the pocket. And we saw him miss a bucket with a handle in the semifinal match to see if it changes his approach for shooting this 2-4-5 combination.
Going to keep it exciting, that's for sure. I thought he was going to leave that 5, able to convert the spare Boho out of Marquette University High School.
Yeah, we see some players purposely play that spare to the left side of the 2-pin just on the basis of they know they're not going to chop it that way. I would rather hit the 2-5 with the ball myself if I was right-handed and just let the 2-pin carry out the 4.
Andrew Olson out of Sun Prairie, that monster release. And skids past the pocket.
And that's where I was talking last time he was up in the lane. Moving left might not be his answer. It might just have to be pick up the ball speed and let the ball get a little farther right, because they've built up such an over-under in that part of the lane. You get a little farther left, there's a little heavier oil concentration. It doesn't let the ball turn over. And you can see how much harder the ball turned over from the outside part of the lane, chopping the spare.
If he doesn't move left and makes that move right, he's going to go straight through the head pin, as we saw there in that missed spare. Are we going to see him over the gutter cap?
No, you can't. He can't get that far left. He has to stay right, but he has to keep that speed very firm. So there's no way left is in play on that lane right now. You're not going to get the ball to finish hard enough on the back end, no matter what your rev rate is on lane 10.
It's like a sprint to the foul line through the head pin, and he's you can see the wheels turning.
And I think that one was just a physical error here in the high 5 gear 5th frame for Olson. No $25 gift certificate for him. That was just a execution too far left, and that ball doesn't have a chance to hold pocket. Quality spare game, though.
Yeah.
Keeps them close in the match.
Wouldn't be in the championship match if you didn't make your spares.
Boho is still with a 9-pin lead, though, but he has to figure out this troublesome right
his
lane.
Troublesome right lane, having problems with his thumb insert, and taking the time and regrouping.
One of those things you can see. He's going to get himself set up, keeps that hand nice and loose in the ball all the way through the swing. Open hand at the top of the release, and he made the adjustment there.
Snappy
See the difference?
release, at the
Difference
bottom
in
of the
ball
ball.
speed
Yeah,
as compared to that
absolutely.
3-6-10. He makes the adjustment with ball speed, making sure the speed's firm.
Yeah, as you see it in the replay there. Nice pocket shot. See Ian still messing with his thumb a little bit.
$25 high five gear gift certificate for Boho with that strike in the high five gear 5th frame. Want to thank Todd Molbeck and his staff for all their support with our television shows.
And I was going to say, he cracked the code on lane 9, but was not able to trip the 10 with that messenger there.
And yeah, just trying to play the same lane on 9, same way on 9 that he is on 10. You just watch that ball skate past all the deflection there, and it's just, you can put out the same lane pattern on every lane in the house. I mean, that's what these machines do. It's
Right.
It's within microns of the same from lane to lane. It's just the difference on how those lanes lay.
Right. And who bowls on them throughout the day. You got two-handers, you got one-handers, and oh my goodness, a missed 10-pin from Ian Boho. Well, we'll continue with more action here from Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Championship bowling action continues. We're at Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. It's the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. It's been a great day of bowling here. The top 40 bowlers from the state battling it out here for TV. Our top 2 bowlers. You see Andrew Olson here from Sun Prairie. Ian Boho waiting to go here from Marquette University High School. Look at the speed on that ball for Andrew.
I'll tell you what, to come out of the commercial break after your opponent hands you the lead by missing a 10-pin, Andrew Olson jumping all over that opportunity. He can get the lead out to 13 pins here if he can get his string out to a double in the 7th frame here on lane 9. But notice the lane players have had it a little easier on today. It's playing a little tighter, and especially for a high rev player like Andrew Olson, he likes it when the ball gets a little skid.
Yeah, it's not a move left. I thought for sure we'd see some over the gutter cap action for Andrew, but it's a speed game with him.
Well, and these players learn nowadays too is that they want to keep the strongest piece of equipment they can hand in their hand with the straightest line possible in order to keep mistakes minor, break up splits, that type of thing. Even on the Pro Tour nowadays, you see a lot of guys, they won't get to over the gutter unless they absolutely have to. You'll see a lot of guys, we saw with the USBC Masters, a lot of guys go to urethane first before they have to make that big move because they want to be able to keep it straighter, more direct, and keep the mistakes to a minimum.
Ian Boho out of Marquette University High School looking to bounce back, and he does with a nice solid pocket strike.
Still finds himself down by 13. Had a good shot on this lane in frame 6, however. That weak 10-pin and the miss of that same 10-pin is what has him behind in this match right now.
You were talking about the use of the urethane ball. It's interesting to see. I'm seeing them more and more in bowling centers now. They're back. Urethane is back.
Well, and it's just a matter of you have to have the right condition for it, and it has to match up with your game. You're not going to see a slower ball speed player like Ian Boho here throwing urethane because the ball just rolls out too quickly. A player like Andrew Olson gets urethane in his hand, that might help him out a bit because the ball's going to get an early roll, but with his speed, it's not going to roll out. It's not going to lose all its energy by the time it gets to the pocket.
Again, it's one of those bowling balls. You think urethane, oh, that was a ball that was used back in the day. What are you using that today for? Still feasible with these lane conditions.
Absolutely. Now a big spare needed here by Boho. No problem covering up that 4-pin. Still finds himself down by 13 pins, and he's far from in the driver's seat because if Olson can put a couple more strikes up there in the 8th and 9th frame, get his lead out to 33 pins, it could be pretty much match over. See Olson talking with his teammates there. Jeremy Hodson. Hodson, a former state high school boys champ, and finished in 2nd place this year in the state singles. Just missing the TV show today.
Here on lane 10, I was going to say anything can happen on lane 10, and sure enough.
You don't get the ball far enough out to the right with speed. He gets just a hair slow at that. You see it get a little extra angular.
Looked good.
To the last 2 feet, but he knew it too. He knew it was going to slice a little high.
Get a little snappy at the end, and you get stuck with the front.
Well, count here is huge, so he's not going to throw away that 4-pin. Just going to make sure he gets one. Takes it the smart way. Still stays up in the match by a single. I'm sorry, Boho's in the lead. Pardon me, by a single pin. But Boho working on a spare, so that pin can go away very quickly.
Right. Andrew opening the door for Ian, who opened the door for Andrew earlier.
Well, here we go. I mean,
and again, we don't know what's going to happen here.
9th frame. Got to get yourself set up for the 10th. 204 maximum here for Andrew Olson. This has been his stronger lane. And we see why.
It's all by the strike and the explosive rack.
Point A to point B with that shot. Take as much of the lane out of play as you can. And just get that ball to do the work. 6-pin. Kicks off the sidewall. Takes out the 10.
As a two-handed bowler, you would think you would want the most aggressive piece of equipment in your hand. That is not the case.
And a lot of times it's not the case, even for a player like Ian Boho. I'm sure he's got more aggressive equipment in his bag. He doesn't need it right now, because especially on lane 10. Keeps the speed up, gets that ball a little bit to the right. Not too far so it doesn't overreact. 10 back, and now Ian Boho can win this tournament with striking out in the 10th frame. No matter what Andrew Olson can do.
Puts the pressure on right now, absolutely.
205 max for Boho, 204 max for Olson.
Boho committing to St. Ambrose University next year, continuing his academic baseball and bowling careers, needs the strike. Oh my goodness.
A little quick out of the hand and a little quick down lane. See, he's not happy with the release again, looking at the thumb.
A little bit of a smirk there, knew that he needed it.
Well, and here's the situation now. He's 0 for 2 on 10 pins today. You can't have a lot of confidence going right now. And you need to make this to have any chance to stay alive in the match. Right now your maximum is 184, and that just lets Olson get a strike first ball of the 10th frame and lock it up.
You could take it right there. And Ian not going to the polyester ball, and 0 for 3.
Over adjust, knowing that ball's going to hook. Not happy at all coming in. It's not done yet, though, because if Olson goes 9 out in the 10th frame, that's 172, but it just lets Andrew Olson need any mark in the 10th frame, and basically you got to think anything short of a split, Olson's taking home this title.
You never want to leave it in another bowler's hands. Unfortunately, that's what Ian has done here. Andrew! It's a game winner right there.
Really made sure he stayed firm with the speed as compared to that 4-9 in the 8th frame. Basically, just a mirror image of the shot he threw in the 9th, and that's enough to take home his 2017 Boys Top Gun Championship. And he's going to get a chance to defend next year. He's only a junior at Sun Prairie. They're going to come back strong. Lots of underclassmen.
I'm telling you, there is
second-place
something
team
in the water out there in Sun Prairie.
Oh, it's just such a great youth program that John and Cher Brunig have run for so many years out at Prairie Lanes in Sun Prairie, and you know, we saw him here at Motion Plus Lanes for a kickoff classic where Sun Prairie beat Oak Creek for that title on TV. And, something tells me we're going to see a lot more of these Sun Prairie players during our Road to Gold series coming up here in the summer on Spectrum Sports.
Only a junior here. We'll be excited to see how he develops throughout this year and his senior year. Able to trip to 7. And there is your winner, Andrew Olson out of Sun Prairie. We will wrap it up from Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
All right, welcome back to Motion Plus Lanes here in Cudahy as we wrap up. What a day of bowling here for the 2017 Top Gun Boys Championship, Phil. We started with 40 bowlers, worked it down to 4. Our championship game was just when you think it was going to fall one way, you miss a spare, and it changes everything.
Yeah, Ian Bowe had the chance to shut out the match if he would have struck out in the 10th frame. Unfortunately, left the 10 pin and missed it. Just let Andrew Olson step up, needing a mark in the 10th frame. Olson got the best kind of mark you can get. Got that strike and 2 more. And Andrew Olson from Sun Prairie, our Top Gun Boys Championship for 2017. Great bowling all day by all of our competitors. It was fun to watch.
I'm telling you, there's something out in the water out there in Sun Prairie. A very big thank you to all of our sponsors, of course, Carrie Catania and the entire crew here at Motion Plus Lanes. Just an amazing weekend of bowling.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't do it without the Catanias. We couldn't do it without High Five Gear, Todd Molbeck and his crew as well.
Yeah, our friends at Trophy Athletics for the hardware.
Oh, yeah, Wagner family's done great for us all the time. And tell you what, Van, the excitement doesn't stop here. We already got the middle school program bowling here, so it's time for us to get out of here and head to Sheboygan.
Yeah, we're going up for the Sean Yonan Memorial Open. That's coming up next year on Spectrum Sports. So for Phil Brylow and the entire crew here, I'm Van McNeil. Congratulations to Andrew Olson, our 2017 Top Gun Boys Champion out of Sun Prairie. We'll see you next time.